talking about air pollution. So I am going to be doing a lab with you guys today called Wet Scrubbers and Air Pollution. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is go through all of the supplies and make sure that I have everything that I need. The first thing is bituminous coal, my little lump of coal here. 2-hole number 4 stoppers. Got 2 of those. 2 25 by 150 millimeter test tubes. 12 centimeter glass tubing and 6 centimeter glass tubing. I already have those and I've actually already put them into my stoppers as well. Plastic tubing. Lime water. pH test strips. Filter paper. My lab manual. A Bunsen burner. I have right here. Matches or flints. I have this striker. Support stand and utility clamp. A vacuum source. I actually don't have a vacuum source, but I have a pump that will make work. Safety gloves and goggles. I have 2 types of safety gloves. Heat resistant safety gloves and just regular gloves. And my goggles here. A weigh boat. Right here. A balance, I have it over on the other table, a test tube rack, a hammer, a graduated cylinder, 50 milliliter graduated cylinder, a resealable bag, I don't have one with me, but it's alright. A wash bottle, distilled water, safety glasses, gloves, and aprons, and glycerol. Right, the next thing in my lab manual is lab safety stuff. So obviously, I'm going to be using an open flame here. That means heat. Anytime you use heat, glassware, or projectiles, or chemicals, you have to wear safety goggles. So I have my safety goggles ready to go. Also, anytime you have an open flame, hair needs to be pulled up, long sleeves pushed up, no dangling jewelry or anything like that. Also, I do have the heat resistant gloves that I showed you because some of the things that we'll be using will be hot. I'm also working in a well-ventilated area. We're going to be burning coal today, so it will be releasing gas fumes. So our laboratory is well-ventilated, and you can't see it, but behind the camera, there is a fume hood which will suck the contaminants out of the air. Soda lime, that's our lime water over there, is a caustic base that can burn skin, eyes, and clothing upon contact. So I have both goggles and regular gloves to work with that. Right. I have gone ahead and set up my rubber stoppers with glass tubing. So they're in here snug, they won't really come out. And I think I have everything ready to go. I need a 40 centimeter piece of tubing and a 60 centimeter piece of tubing. I wasn't sure earlier. These look like they're both the same size, so we're going to grab a different size one. Okay, now I have a 40 centimeter piece and a 60 centimeter piece. I'm just going to move some of this stuff out of my way to make my area less cluttered. Some of the stuff I know I'm not going to need till a little bit later. And I'm going to go ahead now and put on my goggles, which do make me look super cool, and my gloves. Alright, it says, with safety goggles on, use a hammer to break the coal into pieces that will fit inside the test tube. So, here's my hammer. Use my coal. That made a huge mess. Alright, but now my coal is in small enough pieces to fit in my test tube. Lost some pieces in the sink. And another big chunk. Alright, step one, set up the support stand with a utility clamp above a Bunsen burner. So I've got my stand and my clamp, and I'm just going to put my Bunsen burner on it here. Step two, mass the piece of coal and record this as the initial mass of coal. Scale here. Plug it in. Turn it on. Alright, I am going to mass my weigh boat, and I'm going to zero out there. And I'm just going to be using, just going to grab two of these little pieces of coal. My mass is 2.35 grams. 2.35 grams. Take that off. It says place the piece of coal inside one of the test tubes. So I'm just going to drop it in my test tube over here while I move my scale out of the way. Tap the test tube with a stopper and place it in the utility clamp. This test tube should be positioned horizontally with the pole directly over the burner. Use my stopper. Close it up. And then I'm going to put it in my clamp here. And I'm going to bring this whole thing down to be a lot closer to the flame. It gives me a picture here of what my apparatus should look like. And I'm going to turn my camera a little bit so you can see it better. Step 5 says attach one end of the 40 centimeter length of plastic tubing to the shorter glass tube and attach the other end of the tubing to the longer glass tube on the second stopper. So I'm going to go from the short end here kind of be careful all this glass and pushing on it. You could slip and cut yourself. Get around it. There we go. And the short end, this stopper to the long tube and this stopper. Alright, now the next part, we're supposed to take the longer tube and put it in this other tube and attach it to a vacuum source. So what that would do would be to suck air out of here and put it into here. Well, we don't have a vacuum, so instead we are going to put a tube over here and use a bubbler to force air in here, which will then force it out here and into here. Should work. Fingers crossed. Basically the same way. Just not tight. There we go. So that's what I'm going to do. This in here. And attach it here to this pump that is it's an aquarium bubbler, so it forces air out. Before I put anything in here and start lighting things, I'm going to go ahead and test out the bubbler and see if it does what I hope it would. I can't do it. Yeah, it's pushing air out here, so that's what I want. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Put my glove back on. Says number 7, measure 30 milliliters of lime water and pour the solution into the empty test tube and place the test tube in the rack. So let me take that out, and I need 30 milliliters. Again, this is a pretty strong base, so I need to be careful not to get it on my skin. Just put a little bit on the counter, so I'm going to go grab the towel. Alright, now I'm going to pour that into my test tube. Now you've already done some reading about wet scrubbers. So the idea here is that when we burn this coal, it's going to release some pollutants, which will then go into the water and react with the water and be left behind there, and then clean air will come out. So that's the purpose of the lime water. Before the reactions take place, we will use the pH strip to test the lime water and record this as the initial wet scrubber solution pH. I have never used these types of pH paper, but it says Aerodown, so I will see. I dropped it in. Oh yeah, okay. So the middle section turned purple. I already said it was a base, so I would expect it to have a high number on the pH scale. See, this is a test strip before it's been activated, so that yellow patch between 7 and 8 is what changes color. This is the one that I put in the lime water, so I would say this has an initial pH of 12, very basic, 12, okay? Number 9, place the second stopper on the test tube containing the solution. So this tube goes down into the water, so the air will be forced into the lime water there. It says the longer glass tube should be submerged and the shorter glass tube should not be. Okay, that's done. Adjust the glass tubes as necessary, they are fine. Check the diagram. I'm looking at the diagram. Mine looks the same as theirs does. Number 12 says turn on the vacuum. When it's working, small bubbles will come from the longer glass tube submerged in the solution. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Yeah, we got bubbles right away. While wearing safety goggles and gloves, light the burner and, if necessary, lower the test tube until the flame is touching the test tube directly below the coal. We do have gas here at our school. We don't keep it turned on as a safety precaution. So what I have to do is go over to the wall over here. There is a special hidden panel that I have to unlock to turn the gas on. Okay, I got it turned on at the wall. Now I'm going to turn it on at my table and very quickly use my striker to get my flame going. And I'm going to turn my bubbler on, actually. Let's see. Light the burner and lower the test tube until the flame is touching the test tube directly below the coal. It is. Allow the apparatus, allow it to run for 5 minutes. It says as the coal burns, a brown odorous gas will be produced. Observe what happens to the gas. So I'm going to bring you guys over so you can see what's happening. It's definitely turning everything black in there. I'm going to try to set the camera up a little bit closer. Alright, my 5 minutes is done, so I'm gonna turn this off, shut my gas off. Obviously that's really hot, so I'm not going to touch it. Lost my lab book somewhere. Alright, the next step says to remove the stopper from the test tube containing the scrubber solution. You can see that it's going from being clear to being cloudy. It says allow particulates to settle for 2 minutes. So I'm going to let that go for 2 minutes. Alright, so my 2 minutes is up. It says use a pH strip to measure the pH of the solution and record this as the final wet scrubber solution pH. I'm going to take my little pH paper. Remember, before it was a 12, so we'll see what it is this time. Still really high. I'd still say a 12. Maybe has gone from an 11 to a 12, but we'll see. All right. Use a pH strip, did that. Use a permanent marker to label the filter paper with the initials of your group. I don't have a group, just me, so I don't need to do that. Says measure and record the initial mass of the filter paper. And my scale back in here. The initial mass of my paper is 0.54 grams. So go ahead and record that into your chart. It says place the neck of a funnel into a 125 milliliter flask. I don't have 125 milliliter, but I'm going to make this 250 milliliter one work. Going to line the funnel with filter paper. Says you will have to fold the paper, form a cone, put it in there. Like so. Right. Slowly pour the scrubber solution through the filter. Use a wash bottle with distilled water to flush away any particulates at the bottom of the test tube onto the filter. So let's see what we got. guys can see it, but it is dripping through very slowly. While that is filtering, I'm going to go ahead and take the final mass of my coal. So I'm going to zero out my weigh boat again. And then this is not hot anymore, so I'm going to release it. The stuffer and pour the coal that's left in here. So it's at 2.21 grams, 2.21. So it has decreased some in mass. And that's all I need to do today. Once the solution is done filtering, I'll lay that filter flat to dry overnight, and I'll come back tomorrow and weigh it.